What's up, my beautiful people? We are here to talk about November energy and astrology. I'm going to go over the general energies and then for all 12 signs, what it has in store for you. It's really best to look at your ascendant because that's really the most accurate, but I'm sure your sun sign will also have some relevance to it as well. But hope you're doing well. We're definitely in a time of a lot of new beginnings. I know like everybody's been feeling this feeling like something's coming, right? Like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, or we know we can feel that something in the air, maybe in our own lives, or maybe just in the world. And we are most definitely in a spiritual war. I think we can all agree on that, right? And with that spiritual war, it's very energetic. The veil is very thin, especially being in Scorpio season, coming into Sagittarius season. Scorpio is about going deep, going, like the spiritual or energetic detective, if you will. Not only that, but we have Mars and Mercury transiting. Actually, Mars is going to be transiting around the sun pretty much the whole month. And then we also have Mercury in there. Now, Mercury and Mars were exactly opposed to Jupiter and within 5 degrees of the lunar eclipse that we saw on October 28th. Now, with that, that's an activation, right? An activation simultaneously with an ending, because lunar eclipse is ending old cycles. Now, but this isn't any just ordinary ending of a cycle. This is ending a cycle since November of 2021. When we were going through the Taurus and Scorpio eclipse process. So this is the very last lunar eclipse that's going to be happening in Taurus. So this is clearing out that 18-month learning process. And eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio, in my opinion, they're a little bit, they're more on the difficult side. So it's been a pretty intense last 18 months. We've all been learning something within ourselves that is very fixed, right? Whether it's relationships, probably more likely about money, what we really want, what we really desire. Maybe, in November we got, what we really thought we desired. And then when we had it, we realized, wow, no, I want something deeper. I want something more. Maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to feel like. Something didn't add up. So now we're getting the cracking open of the understanding of why that didn't add up and the lessons that we needed to learn, provided that we're open to doing the inner work, to feeling it. So this is where if there is resistance, this is where mental health can become a really big problem, because there is like no resistance anymore. It's like the universe is like, nope, sorry, dude. You need to follow the faith-based voice in your mind. We all have those multiple voices that speak to us, and there's the mind, the ego, there's the intuition, there's the Holy Spirit, and we want to really make sure that we're listening to that Holy Spirit. And that is, in my opinion, the still small voice that is not loud, it's not emotional, and we have to center ourselves and get that mind heart coherence to really tune in to that voice. And whenever we have things pulling us, all the unknowns, all the fears, this is really blasting out a lot of fear-based energy. But that blasting out was really done at the end, to the end of October, where we had that last lunar eclipse. So that's over now, done. We come into November with Pluto starting literally that day at 28 degrees. So now, Pluto is moving forward. We're not going to see it back to 28 degrees from the 240-something years. Hallelujah. Thank God. So this is like getting the last bit of junk out as it's making its way back to this new beginning in Aquarius. So it might feel like we want to move forward now, but it's still like we want to run a mile, but we can only take a step. Because as we go to take that step, it's like, whoa, it still feels kind of heavy, right? That's all right. But the important thing is that now we're being fed, we're being infused with the juices, with the masculine energies. Mind you, we all have divine masculine, divine feminine. When I say masculine energies, that's just the drive or the inspiration to step forward and to move into, this next chapter that is now this month beginning to unfold. On the 4th of November, we're going to be seeing Saturn going direct, which is going to be really important because Saturn, of course, is the Lord of karma, right? So now Pluto is very karmic as well, but Pluto is more of like, you know, in the last 6 months, all right, did you learn your lesson? What part of you do you have to die inside in order to be able to birth this new version? This is taking a piece of coal and making it into the diamond, where Saturn is like, you know, all right, now that you've made the changes, I'm going to give you opportunities to go out into the world. Are you going to make the same decisions, or are you going to have to repeat the same patterns? So where Pluto creates the opportunity for death and rebirth, Saturn creates the opportunity to either evolve or fuck it up or repeat the same cycle, right? So those are two different aspects of the karmic wheel, if you will. So especially with Pluto squaring the nodes in this last 6 months, you know, it's got a lot of unexpected change, a lot of things that have, you know, come from the unconscious mind, because Pluto rules the underworld, right, of the unconscious and subconscious mind. So any kind of residual subconscious or unconscious programming that has not been healed up was really grinded into conscious awareness and understanding through massive amounts of fundamental change. And now we're done with that. Hallelujah. Thank God. And now we're into, all right, now we're being asked to level up, to step up into this new chapter, this new place, because let's face it, the world needs it. And, you know, for the ones that are feeling called to really change this world and make the world a better place, or just live a better life, this is where the universe is going to start really giving us more responsibility. And with that with great power comes great responsibility. So we're going to start to see our moves having more influence, our actions influencing more people. And with those actions and with those moves and with those words and with those thoughts, manifestation is going to be very, very fast. And we're going to have to be able to maintain that mind-heart coherence while moving through the faster energies. It's like, all right, now we've been beat down, kind of, right? Like we've had our time to relax. And now with the Sun conjunct Mars, I have Sun conjunct Mars in my natal chart. So I have a very masculine energy, right? So this energy is going to be feeling like I need to do something. I need to take action. I need to get in there, right? And Mars, you know, being the ancient ruler of Scorpio, you know, Mars is very powerful in Scorpio, and it wants to go in, it wants to dig, it wants to make it happen. Now with Mars conjunct Mercury, this is like, I'm seeing what I got to do. I'm going to take action on this. You know, Mercury is the intelligence. Now it's important not to get caught up in too many rabbit holes or escapism, especially with Neptune and Saturn being in Pisces. That is where we can get caught up and tripped up in this process. But honestly, there's so much stuff going on in the world. We really have to watch out for just the lies that are being given to us through the media, through all the disinformation and misinformation campaigns that are going on out there. But we add in the Sun conjunct Mars and the Mercury in Scorpio as well, with the North Node in Chiron and Aries. This just screams aggression, and it screams like the shadow side of this is going to be war. The higher vibrational side of this is going to be a determination for peace. Now, how do you distinguish between the two? This is where, like, some people in this world or some places in this world are being like beta tested right now. So we really have to start thinking, like, what do we want our legacy to be? Because this is gonna, we're kicking off this next chapter where, look, anything can happen. And as long as we keep our heart in a high vibration, and we're listening to, you know, the Holy Spirit within us, you know, with that brain heart coherence, we're going to be creating environments, creating communities, creating scenarios where war cannot exist, right? But we have to start taking action and doing this work. And this is what this Mars Sun is going to start to really help to bring together, where, you know, a lot of karmic agreements are going to, with Saturn being in Pisces now direct. Now, granted, it's going to be moving slow this month. Okay, this is just, we're waking up from a slumber, a part of us, and now that we're waking up, we're like, oh fuck, all right, I gotta get this paperwork done. I gotta get this done here, and I gotta get up and stretch and move, and and then we gotta get up. We gotta sit up, then we gotta stand up, then we gotta maybe crawl or walk slowly, stretch it out, and then it's going to take maybe a month or two to really start running. And I think that running is really going to start to happen once Pluto goes in Aquarius towards the end of January of next year. So for this month, it's more of an awareness. A part of our consciousness is coming back online and really getting being infused. It's like we're getting our batteries charged this month with this energy to take action on the things that we really want to take action on. Now, on the 8th of November, we have Venus moving into Libra. This is a good thing because, Venus rules Libra. And, ever since Venus going retrograde in Leo, that taught us some massive lessons. Again, similar to the Taurus eclipse. This is all about, what do we desire? What do we feel like we deserve? What do we really want? And now that it's in Libra, of course, the South Node is in Libra, and it's going to conjunct the South Node. This is really looking at standing up into all the things that we've learned here in the last 6 months. Did you really learn the lessons? And are you going to go back to past karmic behaviors, or are you going to invite in new karmic stories and scenarios? Now, as you can see here on November 8th, we have a massive amount of green dotted lines, which means yods. I can't even really tell. I see 1, 2. There's a massive amount of quincunx energy going on here in the first part of November. Now, the quincunx energy is sort of like something's off, but I can't quite figure it out. So when you can't quite figure it out, and the energy just feels weird, try not to get caught up in trying to figure it out. All right, that's what's going to trip you up, especially with the nodes being involved here. And with the energy going over to Scorpio, you can get caught in some serious rabbit holes. You can get tunnel vision, and you can lose the periphery vision of maybe what you want to create or what direction in life you want to go. And don't forget, like Pluto is 28 degrees. The nodes are still at 24 degrees. They're basically going to be at 24 degrees this entire month. If you've noticed, the nodes have been sitting at 25, 24 degrees for like 2.5 months. And Vedic astrology, that's right on at 1 degree and 0 degrees of Aries, respectively. So this is a really significant placement. Now, in December, it's going to go down to 23 degrees, and then it's going to start moving consistently from there. So we're in this sort of cocoon phase of this energy where there was a melting down, right? Like a dissolving, a breaking apart of the energies. And now that it's all been broken down to its most fundamental parts, now this rebirth into this new chapter, things are starting to come back together. Now the energy is starting to infuse, right? But we're still in the birthing energy. And, with that, there's a part of us that, just wants to get going, just wants to make it happen. But this is really suggesting that, like, the way that we get going is by maintaining the stillness and letting it come to us. That's the new way of doing things. There is no more chasing. There is no more trying to do this and that. It's all about receiving. That's what Venus taught us when it went retrograde, right? How to receive in a higher vibrational manner. And, in the Bible, it says the meek shall inherit the earth. And meek just means humble, right? So people that are humble, that have been sort of, suppressed or repressed from this dark energy, I feel like it's finally really dissipating to another level. But most people don't understand what's going on. They don't know how to feel it. They don't, because they don't have that deeper, more sensitive connection to the collective consciousness and to the divine. And the ones that have the higher sensitivity are going to be the ones that get that internal guidance, trust it, and take action on it in divine timing. There is no more our timing. It's all about the divine timing now. So we're still sitting in according to our, you know, karmic advancement, if you will, because karma is not good or bad. It's just a mirror, right? We're still in this stasis, but now we're being infused with this energy. So if you're feeling like you need to get things going, get stuff done, make things happen, you're not alone, but, you know, learn to move that energy through you by, you know, self-care, going to exercise, go get a massage, go sit and go into nature. This is still all about taking care of the self and getting deeper. As we feel the energy, we need to learn to move it and move with it and move through it and let it move through us, as opposed to needing to actually take action in the external world. This is more about learning how to move the actions within. And then when it comes in, it's like everything starts to flow. There is no I gotta hustle and grind. This is more like, all right, this feels right, and it feels good, and it lights me up, and it gives me energy, and I love helping people, and I love, we get a lot of heart gratification as opposed to ego gratification, right? So now, but with Venus coming into Libra, it's a strong position. So now we're sort of solidifying, you know, what we want to receive, and, you know, we're accepting it and we're allowing it to be okay. Now, I will say, like, depending on the placement, like, this could bring in, you know, like karmic lovers or, you know, karmic relationships. Karmic is not bad. Karmic is a mirror. So if you've been doing the deep work, you could bring in a karmic business partnership that's perfect, right? You could bring in the love of your life if you've done the work and you see where you get your own way, you know, when it comes to red flags or whatnot, and then someone comes in and you're like, I'm just gonna be friends, I'm gonna take it slow, and I'm gonna do it different this time. It's all about, I want to do it different this time. I want to take action, but it's gonna be slow, it's gonna feel right. And, you know, one red flag, I'm gonna communicate it, and if there's no communication, then I'm going to politely bow out. Okay, thank you. It's not for me, right? But again, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's the energy of ooh, there we go. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast for this month. Now, on the 10th, we're going to have Mercury coming into Sagittarius. So, you know, Mercury in Sag is not quite as efficient as Mercury in Scorpio. I have Mercury in Sag. It's like you can see the bigger picture, but can't quite see the details. So this is going to be a very dreamy or dreamer kind of energy. So write it down, you know, like take a picture, or, you know, this is a good time for vision boards and for just communicating to yourself, like the big ideas. But wait for it to go into another sign to really like break down the details and stuff. There's going to be there's a lot of layers coming together, guys. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that are starting to form. But I don't know if you're like me, I want to see the whole thing now or yesterday, right? This is saying you got to be patient, even though you feel like you're starting to rev up, you got to chill and let the pieces come into alignment, and then almost like let it pluck you, don't pluck it, right? They say, like, if you really love a flower, like, you don't pluck it, you let it grow, and you water the environment. I don't really know. I don't know why I just said that, but you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? Cool. So on the 13th, we have the new moon. That's at 20 degrees of Scorpio, and that'll be conjunct Mars. Okay, so with this new moon in Scorpio, this is activating the Scorpionic energy. Happy birthday to all my Scorpios out there, my Scorpio risings. So if Scorpios this year are going to be on it, they're going to be feeling very like assertive, maybe even aggressive, and want to make shit happen, get shit done. This is very powerful. It's important not to overdo, you know, the masculine energy, because it can be a little much sometimes. But, you know, and this is also happening right at the beginning of the third decan of Scorpio. So we're going to see, in general, Scorpios are just going to be like probably leading the way this year in a big way. So go get it, Scorpios. Excited for you, man. On the 17th, we have Sun conjunct Mars exactly, but throughout the month, we're going to be seeing it within a couple degrees, you know, traveling through most of Scorpio together. So this month in and of itself is just going to be very, very like, let's go get it. All right. Like, and this could bring things in. I mean, Scorpio, Scorpio wants things right. It can feel the energy and it wants to dive in and figure it out, right? So don't get lost in the figuring it out phase, but at the same time, follow your passion. Don't let it frustrate you. But there will most likely be things coming in that make you feel passionate or make you feel extra driven. And I say, like, as long as you're utilizing that energy in a healthy and self-fulfilling way, taking care of yourself at the same time, go get it. More power to you, right? Let's see. On the 23rd, no, it's Sun conjunct Mars the 17th. Yeah, the 23rd, we have the Sun going into Sagittarius. So happy birthday to all you Sagittarius out there. My favorite woman in the world is a Sag. My little girl, my daughter, she's gonna be 6 years old. Crazy how fast time flies. All right, so Sun and Sag. So of course, Sag season, after the deep, introspective stuff going on. Even Mars is still at the anorectic degree, 28 degrees here, so it's still within 2 degrees of the Sun. So it's traveling all the way into a new sign. And that's very, very powerful. So we can expect to be very motivated, very inspired. Physical activity and exercise would be very, very beneficial here. All right. We have Jupiter going back too. We'll see exactly how far it gets. But I know by the end of the month, we're going to be having the nodes at 23 degrees, which is exactly on the 0 point in Vedic astrology, at the precision of the equinox. So that is really the void space where everything is going to shift and change. All right. Mars will be in Sag on the 25th. So that's super exciting. Still sitting just 2 degrees away. On the 27th, we have a full moon at 4 degrees of Gemini. So now coming back to the Gemini full moon, not really much to say about this one. Wherever it is in your chart, it's going to be, like a new start. Right near Aldebaran. So that's like a leadership star. So, let's get it. Let's make it happen. While Mercury is right at the galactic center. All the galactic center really means is, energetically speaking, is that that's the center of our collective consciousness, amid the center of the universe. So this is where we all feel deeply connected to the world at large, to how everybody in the world is feeling. Right now there's a lot of upheaval, but where are you feeling upheaval or even exhaustion? Because that upheaval can, if we're not a vibrational match to that, it's like, just what the fuck, dude, enough. Right? Like, I'm so sick of seeing this negative crap all over the place. So I choose to focus my energy on building and creating with love and helping people, and that's where we really have to be conscious, aware, and careful not to pick a side, because this isn't about sides, right? That's what they want to keep us in the 3D, and 3D is duality, right? Raising our vibration into unity consciousness is we're all one, meaning that, like, we're all a mirror reflection of each other. So if we don't like somebody else, it's because we don't like a part of ourselves, right? So let's look within and see, hey, what within me am I not liking? The whole Israel Palestine conflict is really, I think, as deep as it goes as far as like ancient conflicts, because you look back thousands of years. It's because one person said, now I'm not an expert at any of this, and I'm not choosing either side at all, but you know, one person said that this is my land, another person said that no, this is my land, I disagree with you. They were getting messages from divine, right? So they're still arguing over what somebody said, you know, thousands of years ago. To me, that just, you know, from an observational perspective, that just seems absolutely ridiculous. Um, but you know, we got a lot of really stubborn people out there, and there's clearly alternate agendas. There's, you know, there's people, beings, whatever you want to call it, out there that want to make sure that these conflicts continue to grow. Now, they're doing some really fucked up shit out there, and I don't support any of that stuff, right? We what's the solution? I mean, love at the end of the day, but that sounds kind of almost pretentious, because like, yeah, like love is the answer. Okay, well, how are we going to do that? I believe that we're going to do it through all doing our own work. The work is internal. The more that we can clean ourselves out, because we are all connected, right? It's just gonna it's gonna continue to clean out all that hate, all that fear, all that nastiness. And then, of course, on the 30th, we have the nodes coming to 23 degrees finally. So, you know, right at the very end of the month, you know, we're coming into that void space. And if you see this here, we get another yod that's pointing to the Sun conjunct Mars, to Vesta, over here to actually Jupiter. So that's going to be interesting. Jupiter will be at 7 degrees by the end of the month. And then, of course, it's not going to, you know, go direct until the very end of December. And we'll talk about that at that time. But basically, Venus is going to be conjunct the South Node for about the last week of November. So we can see a lot of opportunities coming in, a lot of things, a lot of clearing of the past, because now we're a different version of ourselves, especially according to what we want to receive. But now let's go into the individual signs and see how this is going to affect you. So with Aries and Aries rising, let's see, we're looking at the 8th and 3rd house for your significant energies, while Venus is going to be coming into your 7th house. So this is really exciting for attracting new people. Now, the 7th house represents commitments, right? This commitment could be business partnerships. It could be a significant intimate relationship. Can be open enemies too. But whatever it is, if it's bad stuff, it's going to be cleared out. And if it's good stuff, it's going to be starting. So there could be a lot of new, exciting new ventures coming into play. With the Sun and Mars and Mercury transiting your 8th house, this is all about connecting to other people. Your intuition could be deepening a lot. You could be getting a lot of clarity, a lot of answers for what you want to do, where you want to go in life, what you want to pursue. If you're trying to get some investments or loans, this could be a good time to step into that as well. Especially with the new moon happening in Scorpio. You know, this is knowing how to deal with people, and you know, possibly getting, you know, some money for some ventures that you want to create. Of course, with the full moon happening at 4 degrees of Gemini, being in your 3rd house, this could be an ending to stuff that you were learning. And or, you know, I also feel just intuitively this could be moving or desiring to move, because, you know, the 3rd house is your neighborhood, the people around you. This could be, so it could be like a shift in your group of people that you're surrounding or wanting to be surrounded by. And of course, Saturn is going to be going direct in your 11th house. So there's a lot of energies here for meeting new people, for creating new contracts to get going on some new ventures. And really stepping into your interdependence and this new identity that you've been birthing over the last few years. It just cleared up and ended all those really tough lessons from the Scorpio, Taurus aspects. So, and of course, with Pluto, you know, being at the end of your 10th house, this is this is really transcending and clearing out any kind of things that didn't have a solid foundation in your life purpose. Also with, you know, with regards to, you know, being a father or a man or a leader. This is really like, you know, Aries, you're grinding yourself, you're being grinded into the leader that you're meant to be. And this is going to start to bring in new karmic opportunities, and potential projects to start. So a lot of these things will come in, and, you know, let things flow. Whatever feels right, go with it. If it doesn't feel right, don't. That's my advice. But get out there and meet people, because there's a lot of opportunities here to meet some good people, for you to activate, you know, these next steps that you want to take. Okay, so let's take a look at Taurus and Taurus rising. So Taurus, we have the new moon in your 7th and your 2nd house. So new moon in the 7th house, especially with the sun, Mars, Mercury all here, this is all about relationships too. So big time for you. And then of course the 2nd house is all about, you know, the money that you make from the work that you do. So so having a full moon ending in there, you're clearing out a cycle. And this could also be like, you know, getting a pay raise or deciding to step into a more leadership, you know, responsibility role. With Pluto at 28 degrees in your 9th house, this is really mastering the observation of your belief, of your mind, of your belief systems. And Saturn in the 10th house going direct is now giving you opportunities to bring in new karmic opportunities in regards to your life purpose. So feeling stuck, I feel like that stuck feeling is over. I feel like it's going to start moving forward. Now you're going to be meeting a lot of new people. You could even meet the one, if, you know, here this month, if you're looking for that sort of thing. But, you know, do what feels right to you. Don't try to force anything, which I'm sure you wouldn't. You got Venus coming in the 6th house, which is amazing for self-care. So really big thing for you, especially with the North Node being in your 12th house, you know, self-care and listening to your intuition, listening to, you know, the Holy Spirit within you, and having that brain mind coherence, and learning how to work with it like as a flow state consistently. Venus coming in the 6th house is going to like help you to organize and structure the things that really feel right to you on a day-to-day basis, right? Like, I got to get up at 6 a.m. That feels best. I got to eat this for breakfast. I got to, you know, go to work at this time. I got to avoid caffeine. I got to, you know, whatever it is that you're consuming, nutrition wise, sleep wise. When you get around people, the right people are going to make you feel really right. The wrong people are going to make you feel really wrong. Okay. And you're going to be like looking forward to meet people. Let's go. Let's connect. Like, you know, the 7th house is about commitments, but I really feel strongly for you, new opportunities in business ventures. Okay. The key is that when these opportunities come in, to not start getting in your head and letting, like, ideas are great, right? But don't let your mind start to take off and become in control. You have to constantly remind yourself to come back and find that mind heart coherence. So I wouldn't make any plans, like, or say you're in a business meeting, right? You get this huge opportunity and you're just like a little kid, just like, yeah, like bubbling inside. Wait, step back for 24 hours, sit with it. No matter how great it is, no matter even how iffy it is, right? Whichever side it's on, because there's potential for attachment there, and that attachment, either way, even if it's something awesome, could be your demise. So you really gotta focus on just keeping your mind still, and you're gonna, a lot of really great new things can be happening for you this month. So very excited for you, Taurus, especially after this last 18 months. Woo, your identity has gone through the grinder, and you shifted and had to let go of things, and you've probably had to go through a lot of tough stuff. So I'm really proud of you. Good job. On to the next. So Gemini, let's see here. Gemini. So Gemini, we're going to be having, let's see, we're going to be having this Sun, Mars, and Mercury in your 6th house. So this month for you, you're going to be really focusing on just getting your day-to-day life, like getting back into your groove of taking care of yourself, your nutrition, your diet. With Venus going into your 5th house, this is like just learning. Maybe you've just been depressed or, feeling heavy. This heaviness, some is still going to be there. All right. But for the most part, this is giving you the energy to put that energy into, getting, your just learning how to have fun and being around people again, letting that inner child come out, again, after maybe a period of difficulty, and taking care of your physical body. With Pluto in the 8th house, Pluto in the 8th house is it's like a slow death and rebirth process. Okay, so it's coming to the end of your 8th house, which is pretty exciting. So with that, you've come into a new place over the last many years, to really connect with your intuition in a new way, to connect with other people. You probably had a lot of people manipulate you, hurt you, unfortunate experiences, and I'm very sorry about that. However, that's all these things that came in were karmic lessons to teach you how to stand in your power, right? So now that you've had all the lessons, you have broken down into that cocoon goo, if you will. Now the energy is coming in to lift you up, to light you up, so that you can come into this new version of yourself. And with Saturn, that's going to be going direct here in your 9th house, you're really looking at all the things you've learned, your belief systems. You've really mastered a new layer of your belief systems, and now you got to take those belief systems into the world, into into your reality, in order to create the new reality that you want to create. And of course, the full moon is going to be in your 1st house. So, this is an ending and a clearing of a part of your identity that is no longer valid. It's no longer who you are. So there's a final push or a cleansing. So while you're simultaneously getting the energy back to want to be around people and taking care of your physical health and your sleep cycles, your nutrition, all the things that make you healthy and vibrant, you may still be pushing against parts of yourself that want to hang on. And as you step more and more into that discipline within yourself and learning the discipline to have fun, which kind of sounds like a paradox, but if you think about it, you need the discipline to take care of yourself, to feel good enough to have fun, right? So it makes sense to me. So let all this stuff go. So you're simultaneously stepping in while letting go, and it's creating a whole new chapter for you to go out and to meet new people, maybe a whole new vision of what you want to create in the world, or who you want to be, or what you want your legacy to be, right? Now with Chiron there too, it's kind of like, oh, I want to do all this, but how the fuck am I going to make it happen? Like, it's just so big, and that's what you got to let go of. And you got to focus on this 5th and 6th house stuff. You got to focus on just taking care one step at a time, allowing yourself to be okay, letting that inner child come out, surrounding yourself with the right people that inspire you, that motivate you, that make you feel like you want to be, the best version of you that you can. And let this, it's going to be very vulnerable because of this new identity that's sort of ending, new beginning, that's coming out to play. There's a lot of vulnerability and a lot of newness for you, and especially Jupiter and Uranus being in your sign. You're still clearing out a lot of unconscious stuff that's going to come to a culmination in April of next year. So you're not quite out of the woods yet, but I will say things are going to start to feel like they're at least, like you can at least start to live again. Maybe you kind of felt dead inside for a while. So now that you're, able to start to live again, you may want more than that, but this is at least a start, and it's, a promise for, a brighter future. So very excited for you. Let's see, Cancer and Cancer rising. So for you guys, we have the Sun, Mars, Mercury going on in your fifth house, with Venus in your third going into your fourth. Um, I think you guys had a lot of change going on in your home and family life last year. So this may, all that change has happened, and now you're really settling in to your home and family, and learning how to, connect your inner child again. This could also be connecting with your children, or just, maybe you've been super disciplined and, for so long, like now it's time to learn how to go out and have fun and play a little bit, right? With Pluto, that's clearing out your seventh house. There could have been a lot of intense changes and shifts when it comes to your significant relationships, whether it's a business partnership, or just sort of or if you're married, got divorced, something like that has taught you a very, very deep, intense lesson. And of course, with Saturn in the eighth house, there's been a lot of karmic lessons when it comes to money. I feel like for you guys, a lot of it had to do with money, especially with Venus in the third house lately. Like people that you're connected to, particularly I feel like with your business, it's like people are falling off, or things just aren't really clicking anymore. And they're not clicking because you're coming into a new life, a new world, and that may make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially with the North Node and Chiron here in the 10th house. It feels like, what's my life purpose? Like all this stuff that I thought that I had created to give me safety and stability and security no longer makes me feel this way, and is no longer giving me what I thought I had. And now it's all going away and falling away. You have to let go of the feeling like you need to figure it out. Like this is about letting go of control and learning how to just trust your heart, and learning how to feel safe in your home. But your home is connected to your ancestors, is connected to your heart. It's not connected to an external place. And I think that's where maybe you have to work on and clear up. So getting reconnected to that inner child and learning how to be okay with expressing that inner child instead of having to be like a boring adult, right? Like we all need to have that inner child, play thing going on. But you're also in the process, just like Gemini, you're also in the process of still coming to a culmination with this Jupiter Uranus conjunct in your 11th house, which happens next April. And that is where the new chapter is really going to start for you. So from now until then, this time period is you doing a lot of letting go and a lot of allowing. And of course, with this new moon in the fifth house, this is about activating that inner child. That is what this month is all about for you. And then of course, with the full moon in the 12th house, that's just unconscious, clearing out past karmic stuff and unconscious stuff. So you may have crazy dreams. Things may feel a little just tired. You might just feel like, oh, this is just too much energy. Just let yourself chill, right? Saturn now going direct in your 8th house is going to give you new opportunities to connect with people, to bring in new financial opportunities. But after whatever it is that has happened with you, it's going to test you. Have you learned your lessons, or are you going to just run right back to the same things that you were doing before that were meant to teach you a lesson? And this is all about the relationships that you've had that were significant in your business, your intimate relationships and whatnot. So don't go back to the same ways that you've been doing it, because that's just going to bring more karmic lessons, and going to keep repeating them until you learn the lesson. Okay, so let's go to Leo and Leo rising. So Leo, you have the Sun, Mars, Mercury in your 4th house. This is really just want to rearrange your home. Really, it could be like you're really focusing on your relationship with your mother or your grandparents, but there's a deep desire just to really get your home right, maybe changing the furniture around, or kicking someone out, moving someone in, but you want to have your home space dialed in. And so we're going to be having our new moon here in the fourth house. So it's a new beginning in your home and family, which is very exciting. And then, of course, the full moon in Gemini is going to happen in your 11th house. So clearing out and bringing in of new people, maybe a new vision of what you want to create in your world, with the North Node in the 9th house here. Your mission right now is just to learn, maybe teach even as well, or travel. But what I really feel here is that you're looking at your belief systems, you're looking at what you really want in regards to your belief systems, and you're really trying to make some big things happen in your life. But for whatever reason, maybe you've been experiencing some physical illnesses, or feeling very physically tired. I know I have, Ben, I have Pluto natally in my 6th house, and whenever I'm going through a deep transformation, I just just shut down. My body needs a time to recover and reboot. Saturn in your 7th house going direct now. There was some big karmic lesson that you learned in regards to your intimate relationships and business partnerships. Whatever you learned in the last 6 months, now things are moving forward. You could have opportunities from the past come back. I wouldn't go back to the past opportunities if I were you, but that's on you. Venus going from your 2nd to your 3rd house, you're learning something new. And you're getting ready to maybe you just got a new house, right? And you're having like a housewarming party. Like, this is like new neighbors, new people around you. And this could actually bring in, if you are single, this could actually, you could meet someone significant that you could either start a business with, or you could fall in love with. So that's very exciting. And with Jupiter and Uranus here in your 10th house, you're also in kind of a waiting game where the real treasure is going to come in April of next year. So you're still shifting and moving through a lot of stuff, but at least now, you're done getting beat down to a pulp. Now the energy is starting to grow, but Leos, Cancers, and Geminis, you guys really have to be careful not to want to try to do too much too fast. All right, you got to chill, and because there's still a lot of lessons and still a lot of things that are taking place in divine timing. Wait for the divine timing, and let that teach you and take its course. Okay. Let's see. All right, next up we have Virgo and Virgo rising. So let's see here. Virgo. So you guys have the Sun, Mars, and Mercury going on in your 3rd house. So you're learning a lot. Now, when I say learning a lot, that can be anywhere from learning about yourself, about your emotional state, learning lessons in relationships. You could be learning, the traditional definition of the 3rd house is like learning in school, right? But what I've noticed from experience in my life is that it can also be learning how to learning how to process emotions based on things that you would have learned at school. Like, for example, like I've been learning a lot about building business, like pitch decks and business plans and like finances and things like that in this last year. And it was a very emotional stuff for me. So I've had to learn how to process these emotions. But this is where you're like ready to go, right? And you're having a new moon here in the 3rd house. So this could be, like you're starting to either teach something new, or you're learning something new, or you're connecting to a whole lot of new people, which is also really exciting. And you're going to be having Venus going from your 1st house to your 2nd house. So this is really good. Now you've gone through a shift in your identity, knowing what you want to receive, want to create or connect to. And now Venus going in 3rd house, excellent for money. So now, you know, you're going to have the opportunities that are going to come in. Maybe you're, you know, you create a class and now you're just starting this class, right? Something like that is going down. So we have the full moon happening in your 10th house, which, so I see you starting some new kind of venture for either you got a new job or you created your own business or your own venture, something like that's going on. Very exciting with North Node also in the 8th house, conjunct Chiron. This is about like connecting to other people, other people's money. This could be, I'm just feeling money, 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 all over your chart here. So whatever it is that you just finished going through, good riddance. Thank God. Saturn moving from your 6th house to your 7th house was whatever you did learn. It's teaching you a lot of stuff about you know, hitting your physical body, because the physical part is the last part, you know, where the energy goes that we have to shift and clear in order to be able to manifest what we want in this reality, right? So Saturn is now done teaching you that lesson and is now going to be moving on to give you more opportunities. But remember, don't try to go too fast, right? Pluto moving in your 5th house has really got you connected to your inner child, like feeling like there could be a deep sense of vulnerability here with really being you authentically, like and deeply. But and in the North Node conjunct Chiron in the 8th house too is also Chiron in the 8th house is all the way deep, right? Well, the 8th and the 12th house are like the deep subconscious, unconscious parts of the mind. But you could be attracting a lot of broken people, or maybe you're a healer and you just created a whole new healing process and you're getting a lot of clientele. The important thing is to hold those solid boundaries, right? And with Jupiter and Uranus, again, you guys are in a place where you're still in the process of learning these new lessons about your belief systems. You're expanding your belief systems. You're seeing new things. So from whatever it is that you're starting now until April of next year, it's a culmination, right? So you're creating something, going to be refining it. And I think the real new thing is going to be fully birthed in April of next year. So congratulations. You know, definitely want to be present with all the energies going on right now. And whatever it is that you learn, it's time for you guys to take it out into the world. Okay. Awesome. Good shit. Let's see here. Now we're going to Libra. So Libra and Libra rising. Of course, the South Node is in your 1st house. So you're going through a lot of relationship shifting and learning to see things in new ways with the Sun, Mars, Mercury going on your 2nd house. This is great for making money. This is and doing the work that you do and making money based on the work that you do. And this is all really gearing you up to start a lot of new relationships, but really mostly importantly, the newest relationship to yourself. You learn a lot over this last 6 months, and you have a new moon happening in your 2nd house. So very exciting for that too, because this is opportunities to make money. You're probably going to be getting pretty busy. So whatever it is you've been going through, you know, Saturn in your 5th house could have been, you could, you know, in your dating life could have been a little rough. Like, no, there's just nobody out there. What the hell is going on, right? And you got to learn some lessons, and now you understand where you're holding yourself back. This is going to bring new opportunities for the dating world, you know, just, and again, learning how to be you in just a deeper way. However, I will caution you with the North Node and Chiron in the 7th house, other people for you, you're being taught through other people, in particular, you know, intimate relationships or business partnerships, the wounds of other people are specifically for you are a reflection of the unhealthy or unhealed boundaries in your own consciousness, right? So you really need to make it a priority to have solid boundaries and to communicate, stand in those solid boundaries. And you know, there's going to be a lesson for you for the next 18 months. Okay. But as long as you keep those boundaries solid, as long as you're listening to your heart and you have that mind heart coherence, you will be attracting, you know, a lot of abundance, a lot of potential money. In fact, this new work is kind of like a testing melting pot for you until April of next year, where Jupiter and Uranus come together in your 8th house, where you could have a real magical moment of something big happening. And Venus is, of course, coming out of your 12th house to your 1st house, which is huge, because now Venus is coming into your home sign where it's ruled in your 1st house. This is finally, you're done with the unconscious stuff. You're done with like the deep hard work. Now you're meant to, when anything goes from the 12th to the 1st house, it's like coming from the unconscious mind into the conscious mind. So now all these lessons are like, all right, I feel good. I feel like me again, right? And you may feel like you again, but it's a newer version of you. So now there's nothing in the 10th house, really. There's nothing going on there, and there's nothing in the 4th house. So this is really about your new identity, and you know, whatever karmic lessons you've had to learn. Now you have karmic gifts and you know, karmic blessings coming in, provided that you learn the lessons. Okay, and whatever lessons that you still do need to learn, you know, the progress might feel slow, right? But it's these fundamental parts that have to be there to set the solid foundation for this next 20-year cycle. Okay, so make sure that you're really being present and you're really focusing on setting up this new life. You're really setting up a whole new life based on this new version of who you are, and you believing in yourself and believing that you're worthy and worth it. Okay, so step into that, Libra. You got this. Now let's go into Scorpio. Scorpio, happy birthday, Scorpios. I hope you're doing really well. And of course, the sun is in your sign with Mars and Mercury. So for you guys, a solar return, pretty much all of you are going to have the sun, Mars, and Mercury in your sign. And this is really powerful, because this is like it's go time. Now, if you're a Scorpio rising here, this means that your identity, you're just like, I'm ready to get up and out there and make shit happen. Like Mars and Mercury and Aries, all there in your 1st house. It's like, it's go time. Let's go. Let's make it happen. This is like, you know, North Node and Chiron in the 6th house, really paying meticulous attention to your daily habits, getting in really great shape. You guys can be getting in really, really great shape here starting this month. Jupiter and Uranus, you know, in your 7th house. I mean, wow, like this is where you're really remolding your identity, and you could be really inviting a lot of significant people by April of next year. You might meet the one, or you might get in a new relationship that is the one that you're meant to be with for the rest of your life. You know, it's entirely possible. Pluto is now directing your 3rd house. You know, this is, to me, tells me that, you know, all right, you're stepping into a new level of leadership position in your peer group and the people that you're around. And Saturn now going direct, there may be a shift or change in your home and family, or your relationship to your mother. But what I'm feeling is this, like, there is some upheaval going on in your home and family, and the shit fell apart in the last 6 months, and now you learned a lot of lessons. You've been through it, and now it's time to really set it down, to bring it into, you know, like a new stability in your home and family life as it goes back into your 5th house. Okay, so Venus is coming in your 12th house. Venus in the 12th house is, you know, it's you're unconsciously attracting whatever it is that your soul is meant to attract right now. So that could be, you know, that's highly dependent upon you, what situation you're at in your life and in your personal chart. But with Venus in the 12th house, it's not really good or bad. Being in Libra, you know, it's a more positive dominant sign, but it could mean that you're having, you know, crazy dreams, or suddenly, like, you're just, people are around you that are just the right people that, you know, you need to come in your life to forward advance the agenda. I don't like the word agenda, but what you want to create in your life, which it is an agenda, but, you know, hopefully it's a positive one. All right, so let's get it. You got the Scorpio. I'm excited for you. Happy birthday. Now on to Sag, and happy birthday, Saggies too. Sagittarius. Now for you guys, the Sun, Mars, and Mercury are in your 12th house. So this is the 12th house is the house of the unconscious, right? So this means that you're clearing out a massive amount of shenanigans. And so you can feel a little frustrated, or you might just feel very passionate about your spirituality. Passionate about, like, like, okay, I gotta meditate, I gotta, like, whatever it is that you consider your, spiritual practices and being, this is going to be getting real straight with your spiritual practices and realizing that, wherever you're slacking on it is costing you. It's not really giving you or helping you manifest what you want to create. Now, Venus is going to be going from your 10th to 11th house. This is all about new people coming in. So old people going, new people coming in. Pluto direct in your second house. This is starting to, bring in. I feel like this is more of a, like, standing up again in this leadership as far as your work. Now, because Pluto is death and rebirth and transformation, this could be, you're shifting from one job or one type of work to another. And this is you standing in your truth and your power when you're around these old people and having to really seeing, like, I got to clear this shit out, like, now. Right. And as you clear it out, the new stuff's coming in. Boom. Here we go. And Saturn in your third house, now getting ready to go direct. You've been learning a lot of new stuff. And now it's and now whatever it is that you learn, it's time to put that into practice and into play. Now with the North Node conjunct Chiron in the 5th house, this is really like, maybe you've been a hermit, or maybe you just haven't really been having fun. But Saggies love to have fun. You love to have fun, you love to travel. So, this is, looking at that Chiron energy, like, I'm not going to let you hold me down. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to have fun. And that's that. Now, Jupiter and Uranus in your 6th house, this is like, you have the magic touch when it comes to self-care. Like, you could just be working out twice a week and just look shredded. You know what I mean? Like, it must be nice. But this is also a culmination point. So, like, if you wanted to do like a fitness show or something, you would absolutely kill it right now. Just saying. But there's also a build up to a culmination point to really, like, knowing exactly what works for your spiritual and your emotional health, as you're allowing the universe to work in your favor to come in and shift things around for you. So then, of course, we have the full moon that's going to be happening in your 7th house. Look at that. So endings and new beginnings to significant intimate relationships. Now, this could be, if you are in a significant intimate relationship, this could be taken to the next level. This could be, deepening the process, or it could be like, the foundation is not solid. Let's go. But we already just entered into this new eclipse season. So I think that last month in October, anything that, would have been exposed or would have been, broken things down would have probably happened. So this is really just going to solidify your whatever decision you made last month, and to really continue to grow and evolve in that. So this is going to be really, really good for new business partnerships coming in, and solidifying and optimizing. This could be going from boyfriend, girlfriend to, engaged, or engaged to married, or, whatever the next level of the relationship is for you. You guys could decide to, you love each other, but now, you want to do business together, something like that could definitely be on the docket. But with Venus coming into the 11th house, you could really start to hone in and see this next chapter or vision, right? Like, if you've been envisioning, or if you've had a vision board, you might want to update it. or it could be like becoming in greater detail, or things might start coming in this month that are showing you, hey, this vision is now able to start to become a reality. It's time to start taking the steps to do that. In fact, once Saturn's coming into the fourth house, and it's going to be sitting in that fourth house here. So a lot of karmic shifts and karmic changes could be happening here over the next 6 months. So fantastic. Now let's go to Capricorn. Hope all my Cappies are doing fantastic. So Capricorn, you've been through it. I mean, Pluto going through your sign for the last since 2008. Man, it's been a grind. But finally, Pluto at 28, it's like, I'm a Capricorn. So this is where like nothing really phases me anymore. like for a long time I'd have like going through a custody battle, going through breakups in the past, or like being betrayed by friends. It hits you really hard, but then you finally come to the understanding and the experiential feeling, and it doesn't have that same effect in you anymore. You're like, I've been through that. All right, so I accept it. It is what it is. Move through it. What's next? I have to keep going. All right, because the light is right there. That end of the tunnel, the light is right there. So we just got a couple more months until that Pluto is in Aquarius, and then our souls are gonna feel lighter, and finally all these things that we've been working for and planning and wanting to create are going to start to materialize next year. How exciting. And we have the Sun, Mars, Mercury in our 11th house. This is the vision. This is finally getting clarity and understanding and intense drive. Let's go get it into this vision. Meeting new people. This is a time to get out there and meet new people, make it happen. Venus will be coming from our 9th house to the 10th house. Venus in the 10th house, and especially conjuncting the South Node. This could be, karmic agreements for, business partnerships to come together, or, like very divine aligned meetings of minds for creating something bigger than yourself. I see a lot of this potentially happening here. So this is very exciting for Capricorns. Finally, Capricorn's all about that life purpose, right? Saturn being in the 3rd house, getting ready to go direct now. Now you may have felt stuck in trying to learn something, or stuck with like people, just you maybe been being a hermit and not really want to be around people. This is great. Now finally getting ready to meet new people, connect with like minds. North Node and Chiron in the 4th house, wanting to feel at home, but not really sure where home feels, or connecting to a deeper part of yourself. We have to kind of accept that feeling is just not going to quite be there for a while, and not compensate, but focus on the things that we can control in our emotional state, and let go of the things we cannot control. And Chiron will kind of keep that feeling like, well, I want things to look like this, or I want my home and family life to look a certain way or be a certain way. It's just, and we just have to accept that it's not the right time right now. Right now, it's about connecting to that inner child, loving ourselves regardless of that feeling, right? And letting that inner child come out and play and have fun. Now, this is also something that's gonna culminate in April with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the 5th house, which is going to be very exciting. This could be creative ideas, just like suddenly, boom, the idea that we've been looking for, that's gonna, go viral or like blow up in a good way. But right now, we're in the process of deepening the vision, getting out there and meeting new people. A lot of really good potential connections can be coming in right now, and stepping into new routines and new ways of being. So really, and of course the full moon in Scorpio is going to be in that 11th house. So new people again, and then the full moon in Gemini is going to be in the 6th house. So the culmination of and optimization of taking care of the physical body. So if you are having any physical issues or illnesses, you have to address it this month. It's going to be required, because that means there's a blockage, and we cannot move forward. We have to lay this foundation properly. In the physical body right now, with that mind heart coherence, the more aligned our mind and heart become, like now we're channeling this energy, properly into our divine purpose. And now that that divine purpose is happening, this is like a sort of a last message, if you will, saying, hey, there's something going on that doesn't feel right in your body. You have to listen to it and allow it to teach you. And as I'm saying that, I see 111 on my computer screen. So that's definitely a message for somebody out there. Let me know in the comments below who that is. All right. So let's go to Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, you guys, Pluto in the 12th house. Woo, man. Especially coming up to the last degrees in the 12th house. Of course, this would mean that you're a 0-degree Aquarius ascendant. Almost nobody is that. But the energies may still resonate. Okay, so the energies resonate, of course, this is for you. But the Sun, Mars, Mercury in your 10th house with the new moon in the 10th house. This is a new start to your life purpose. Finally, this is like a big jolt of lightning through the energy body. Like, all right, it's time to get up. It's time to get out. Stop being lazy. Not saying you are lazy, but within, like whatever it is that voice in your head's been saying, stop doing this, do more of this. Blah, 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 blah. It's time to listen to that, especially with Chiron, North Node in the 3rd house. That's communication, right? That the deep wound is with the communication. Normally, that's internal communication. So it's time to stop listening to that voice that's like being a Debbie Downer. Be like, you know what? You need to go sit on the bench. I'm going to come over here, and I'm learning. This is really like learning, teaching about the things that you struggled with, right? So Saturn going direct in your 2nd house is now, all right, you went through some shit, about, the work that you do. Maybe some things came down, that, made you have to learn some really tough lessons. All right, now Saturn's going direct. Now you have a new opportunity. You learn these lessons. So now the business might start slowly flowing in again, especially between the 2nd house and the 10th house here. This is a new start, a new opportunity. Did you learn your lesson? And with Venus going in the 9th house, looking at your belief systems. In fact, Venus conjuncting the South Node, the 9th house, is going to be seeing, where the lesson has been, and whatever lesson this is, it's going to be connected to the feeling of at home, feeling at home within yourself. And right now, that's a very auspicious, like maybe you have a huge home, or maybe your home is just, exactly the way you want it, or maybe it's getting there. But there's a lot of auspicious. Now, the important thing, especially with Jupiter and Uranus in the 4th house, especially, like you got to be careful of excess. So doing too much of anything is not good for you, right? And with Chiron in the North Node in the 3rd house, it could be that voice, fuck that, like I'm just going to keep doing it like this, when in your heart it's wrong. So it's that mind-heart coherence, and Venus coming in the 9th house is going to be really showing you why that is so important, right? So there's a pattern of behavior every time that you choose your mind, because Aquarius you can be very cerebral and very disconnected, because, we're weird. I'm an Aquarius moon, all right? But this is going to be showing you like why you disconnect, and where the incoherent nature is that is not allowing you to get past that blockage, whatever belief system. There is a self-limiting belief system in there that is going to come up, that you're going to become aware of. And once you see it, then things are just going to start flowing in so much more smoothly. So please let me know what that is in the comment section below. Of course, Pluto still transiting the last part of the 12th house. It's very intense. It invites a lot of like power grabs or very powerful people into your zone. and there can be like power struggles, energetically with other people. So if you find yourself in power struggles that kind of seemingly come out of nowhere, surrender to that. Feel like you don't need to be right. You don't need to have the, like, that sucks the power away from you. What are you doing? Right? Stop. And then, of course, the full moon is going to happen in Gemini in your 5th house. And this is about clearing, like, there's a angry little child in there that just needs to be heard. It needs to be loved, right? So love that inner child and learn how to just have fun and chuck it in the fucking bucket. That's what I like to say. You know what I mean? So in that full moon at the end of the month, just let go whatever is keeping you from letting that inner child come out and play and be free. Right? Just be free. So oops, a little too far. So now Pisces and Pisces rising, last but certainly not least. Pisces is probably the most powerful energy in the whole zodiac. So let's see, you guys have the Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Ceres all in the 9th house. This is belief systems. This is like really getting clarity and seeing where you get your own way. Well, why things, I mean, this is like a mastery energy, especially with a new moon here. This is, well, A, probably wanting to travel, but B, also seeing all these belief systems where in your mind where you get in your own way, and then finally having the impetus to be like, no, like Neo, right? When Neo, like when he died and got rebirthed from Trinity's love, he saw those bullets, and those bullets are metaphors for like shit talking and like judgment and all these different things coming from the external world. No, I'm not going to take those on. I'm not going to let those penetrate me. I control what my boundaries. So this is like, see, like Neo, like, no, stop, ain't gonna happen. And then of course the full moon is going to be in your 4th house, so this could be moving. I feel pretty strongly about that. This could be at least starting the process of moving, or some kind of ending to your home and family situation, or clearing out maybe a belief system that was keeping you from moving, or keeping you from taking a step in a direction that you want to go. Now with the North Node and Chiron in the 2nd house, this is where you can be having some difficulty if you're in a job that you don't like. This Chiron energy is going to make you feel trapped. This is activating the healer within you and learning how to manifest making money through the healing processes that you do. Jupiter and Uranus in the 3rd house is all about learning new shit. You have the potential to learn all kinds. So this, what I'm seeing is, you're seeing where you get in your own way. You're seeing that what you've been doing either isn't working or it's not right for you anymore. It's then dead, done, over with. Saturn, that is now direct in your on the cusp of your 12th and 1st house, is showing you like you're becoming a new version of yourself, and it's time to clear out all this your old life is done. Okay, like it's dead, done, over with. It's time for you to start create this new reality, but you have to become the new reality within yourself, right? This new version of you. Now with Venus coming into your 8th house, this is about meeting new people, money. It's also about deepening your intuition and trusting your intuition. Basically, trusting your intuition to know who to connect with to create this new venture that you want to create, that's going to make you what you need to make to do what you love to do. This is bringing all this. So I'm really feeling that you're leaving an old life behind. You're coming into a new life, and that may have you moving, or starting the process of a move. So very auspicious energies. Now again, once this start happening, right, it may be really exciting and you may want to like start to run, but remember, you gotta crawl, then stand, then walk before you can run. But you're super intuitive and you get it. You know the deal. Okay. But this is also too for you, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. There's something new that you're learning, or maybe you're going to be teaching or creating, like a course or something like that. You're going to be creating. That's going to culminate in April of next year. And then Jupiter is going to go into your 4th house. So maybe the move might happen middle of next year. Okay. And then, of course, Saturn and Neptune, specifically for you guys, it's good because it's going through your 1st house. This is like a birthing a new identity, but this is a very new version of you, because in the 1st house, this is going to change the way that you go out to the world, the way that you want to be seen, your legacy, because Saturn is going to conjunct Neptune, and it's going to cross from your 1st house to your 2nd house. So this is really, really, really powerful. And we're still in like the initial phase of this process is not going to culminate until mid 2025. All right. And the north node will be in your sign as well. So this is actually the beginning of a deeper layered phases of you really shifting. I mean, everything in your life is going to look different here in a couple of years. So I'm really excited for you, and keep up the good work. So that's what I have for you guys. If you resonated with this reading, please let me know in the comments below. And if you feel like someone could benefit from this, please share this video, and please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see y'all on the next video. Aho.